I got this new lens and I'm trying to figure out if I like the angle or not. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jamal. I hope you guys are all doing well. Now, it's been a minute since I picked the camera up and made a video like this, but today we're going to be doing some maintenance on the CTS-V. Now, before I get into it, I will admit that a lot of this stuff that we're doing today in this video is like pretty basic stuff, and I think most of the people that are watching this video would probably already know how to do this stuff, but I wanted to make this video anyway, just to kind of maybe give some people that don't know how to do some of the more basic maintenance stuff on their car some insight into how they can save some money by doing some things themselves. So long story short, a couple weeks ago I took my Cadillac CTS-V into the dealership to have the air conditioner looked at, because I felt like on the really hot days it wasn't really cooling like it should have been. And so basically what ended up happening was there was an actuator on the driver's side in the dash that controls the amount of airflow that comes into the cabin on the driver's side, and that actuator was sticking closed, and so that one was actually replaced under warranty. But while they were doing that, like a lot of dealerships do, they went ahead and did a basic inspection just to see how some of the basic stuff was doing. And so they found that the windshield wiper blades needed to be replaced, the in-cabin air filter needed to be replaced because it was dirty, and the engine air filter, or where the air intake is at, that filter needed to be replaced as well. So they asked me if I wanted to replace it through them, and I of course said no, because a lot of this stuff is super easy and I can do that stuff myself and save tons of money. So today I kind of wanted to make a video and go over the stuff that they told me to replace, which is what I just mentioned. I want to tell you guys how much they were going to charge me to do it, and then I want to show you guys how much I bought the same exact parts for online, and I want to show you how much money I was able to save by doing all this stuff today myself. And then I wanted to show you guys how to actually put the parts on. So hopefully this video can save some of you guys out there some money. And these processes are pretty similar for almost every car. So I would say that it's almost universal. The information that you have in this video, there will be some differences in the way some of these parts install, but for the most part, this stuff should be very similar on most cars, I would think. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you guys what the dealership said I needed, and I'll show you guys what I got. Okay, so I have the printout here of what they gave me. So keep in mind that these prices that are on here reflect both the parts and the labor involved with putting the parts in. So first off, wiper blades are not cleaning well and due for replacement. That's for both wiper blades. That's $61.30. Next, we have, upon inspection, found the engine air filter has excess debris in it and is due for a replacement. So that's the intake that we talked about. $119.18. And then finally, we have passenger compartment air filter is recommended every 20 to 30,000 miles on this car. Last time was replaced at 21,000 miles. And for that, they want $93.48. So adding those three things up, we have a total of $273.96 to replace two wiper blades, the engine air filter, and the cabin air filter. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys what I bought from Rock Auto. Keep in mind I did pay full price for these parts and they were shipped to my house. And I'm going to show you guys what I paid for them and how much money I saved. Here are all the parts that I bought. Now, these are all OEM GM parts. For you guys that don't know, AC Delco is the OEM parts manufacturer for GM, kind of like how Motorcraft is for Ford. And so all AC Delco parts, these are the same parts they would have used at the dealership, even the wiper blades. And so starting with an in-cabin air filter, that was $11.37. Then we have the actual engine air filter for the air intake, that was $40.99. And then the two wiper blades, the driver's side one is 24 inches and the passenger side one is 17 inches. And for the driver's side, we have $10.19. And then for the passenger side, we have $10.27. And so all that after shipping of $8.99 in tax totals out to $88.35. So that's a total savings of $185.61 by buying all these parts myself and by replacing them myself. So as you can see, the savings there is pretty significant, and to me it's worth it because these parts are not hard to put in. And now we're going to go ahead and show you guys the process of actually replacing these parts. So let's go ahead and get into that. So the first thing we're going to start with is the wiper blades, and as you guys can see here, these remove pretty simply by just pushing this tab in here and then pulling the wiper blades out. I might be actually able to do this with one hand. So we basically want to push this tab in and then pull out, and that should pull the wiper blades right off. Now this process may be a bit different for different cars, Some of them have tabs like that you push down and pull out, and some of them are like hooked. So you basically have to pull the wiper blade away from the hook and then work the wiper blade off of the actual wiper arm. So that was pretty straightforward. I was able to get that done with one hand. I'm gonna go ahead and unpackage that one and get it replaced. As you guys can see, my car is pretty dirty right now, but we are expecting rain tomorrow, so I'm gonna hold off on washing it. So this wiper blade actually comes with a little plastic guard on it, but you're gonna make sure you're gonna pull that off before putting it on. Most of them don't come with something like that, but this should just snap into here. Boom, like that. That's literally all there is to it. Boom, wiper blades are replaced. Alright guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and move to the engine air filter. Now these are usually located somewhere around the front of the engine bay, and it's usually has some kind of tube connected to it that goes to the engine. So in my case, my engine filter is right here, and it's actually held on with a few screws. If I take you guys off here, as you guys can see in the corners there's one screw there, there's one screw there, and then on the back side there's one there, and then on the front side there's one there as well, and another one there. And so basically we're going to undo all those screws, and then we should be able to lift the cover off of it, and we should give us access to the engine air filter. So those are actually Phillips heads. So let me go ahead and grab my screwdriver, and we're going to pull the cover off. Now keep in mind, the only reason that dealerships and other automotive repair shops check this stuff is because it's really easy to get to and to check. Like if it took a lot of work to do it, that's not something they normally probably check for free. So there's one screw off. So I'm actually going to cheat, and to make it a little bit easier for myself, the same screws have an 8mm hex head on it, so I can actually use an 8mm socket. So I'm going to use that to kind of make it easier on myself when it comes to removing these things. And so now that I've removed all the screws, I should be able to just lift up on this. It should give me access to the air filter there, as you guys can see. And we can just lift this air filter out. Boom. There she is. A dirty air filter. Here I have my brand new air filter. As you can tell, it looks exactly the same as the one that I pulled out. And so we're just going to go ahead and drop this one in here. It should go in. Make sure you get it lined up correctly. And it drops right in. And it should fit right back over it. Make sure there's no gaps or anything. You don't want your air intake to leak. And all we have to do now is screw it back down. I like to get all these started by hand so that they don't strip out when you try to use a screwdriver or a little impact. Make sure you don't go too tight on these. You don't want to strip out the plastic. And the last one. Boom. Done. Alright, so the last thing on our list of things we need to replace was our in-cabin air filter. Now, I'm pretty sure in almost every car, the in-cabin air filter is located behind the glove box of the vehicle, which is usually on the passenger side. And so if we open the glove box And usually in most cars, you can just pop the glove box actually all the way out, and it's just held in with clips on the side. That you just squeeze the ends of the glove box in, and the glove box comes out, and the air filter is right behind it. But this car is a little bit different. So there's actually a rivet that is holding this top section in. So if I come through here, there's actually a little clip here that unscrews. It's plastic. Boom. That clip comes out like that. And then there's another piece that is up in there that should be able to fall out. Boom. Underneath it, that clip should come out, and then that screw is what basically holds that clip in. So once that's out, we should be able to pop this piece out here. Boom. The whole thing comes out there. You don't have to unclip anything. It should give you access to the in-cabin air filter. Let me grab the camera and the light and I'll show you guys where it's at. Alright, so if we come in behind the glove box where we just pulled that plastic piece down, you can see a little plastic cover there that says down. Basically, that side goes down, and we should be able to just pop this plastic cover off. There's little clips holding it in. One here. That pops off. That's out, and then there's one on the other side as well. Boom. Boom. And it should. Okay, so there's actually clips on the top too that need to. Just gotta feel around. Boom. That cover comes off. Move it out of the way. And then, as you guys can see there, that is the actual air filter with the arrows on it that tell you where the airflow is. So that's where all your air in the cabin comes from, and it filters through there. So we should be able to just pull this air filter out. Here's a little side-by-side of the old filter and the new filter. As you guys can see there, that old filter was actually pretty dirty, so we're gonna go ahead and throw this new filter in now. We're gonna go ahead and throw in the new filter. It's gonna take some maneuvering. You kind of have to go in at an angle, make sure it slides up in there, and then kind of push it in to where it lines up. Just push it in all the way. There's some cores in the way, and that's why it can be a little difficult. But once you're in, you're good. And then you should be able to just pop this cap back onto it. So just gonna go over it. It's kind of difficult to see down in there. Make sure everything snaps in, and you're good. Then you can slide this back into place. Make sure everything's flush, looks good, and then finally we'll pop that clip back in. And that's all there is to it. Alright guys, so replacing all three of those things took me about 45 minutes. It'd probably take you even less since you're not filming a video. And so if you ask me, that's a great way to save $185 for 45 minutes of your time. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. All you guys in South Texas, the fam in South Texas, and you guys in Louisiana, y'all be careful. I know that hurricane's supposed to be hitting landfall tomorrow. You guys are my prayers. But anyways, please comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.